Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life coming to you today with the Daily Word for Men for February 6, 2025. And the word for today is exciting. And it's exciting to be here. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. What gets you excited? When your imagination and memory come together to recreate experiences that were full of joy, fun, passion, thrill, or intensity, what do you picture? It could be a concert, sporting event, a person, a group of people, or an experience. Sometimes it's all of these. We have many avenues for excitement in life, and some seek thrills without rest. We call these people adrenaline junkies. They live for the next high, which can be dangerous. When they come down from that, they risk crashing. It places an unusual strain on the system to live seeking constant excitement because it is not what God intended. He does not want us to be excited about Him. He does want us to be excited about Him, though. He wants us to enjoy His creation too, but He has so much more for us. The most satisfying excitement, the kind that lasts longer, comes when we encounter the Holy Spirit. We should really be more addicted to Him. And the question for us is, how do you see the Holy Spirit replaced by other excitement in your day to day life? I'm not quite sure what that means. So when I hit a question that I don't quite understand, I try to give an explanation of the text and yeah, kind of let you figure it out. I just don't know what he means. Uh, does he mean going over excess when we should be concentrating on the Holy Spirit? Or I'm not sure. But sure, I used to get involved in uh, many things that were thrill seeking. Uh, I was very involved in swimming, very involved from about age 5 through age 21. My dad got me involved in, well, his main goal was mainly that I could kind of become waterproof. I know they have courses like that, waterproofing your kid, because of the death of my older brother at a very young age through drowning. I was 1 and he was 2.5, and that led me to think, well, I really like this. I like being in the water. I like being over my head. I like my feet not touching the bottom. I wasn't afraid, and it led me to take up swimming, become a boys club champion, high school and college champion, and get scholarships because I could have never afforded them. My parents didn't have enough money to send me to college. Fees were much cheaper in those days. Believe me, it cost more for me to go to high school, uh, to the all boys school that I went, than it would have cost me if I were paying to go to college. I didn't pay for high school and I didn't pay for college. I had a lot of good people behind me, a good school behind me. I got an education. I'm so appreciative to them and to God for that. Uh, so I did that, but I did crazy things like any kid does. There was an old factory, and I mean a big one, more than the length of my street here. And it had water towers. And once they got water to that part of town, they didn't need the water towers anymore. But they were the very highest in these giant cauldrons, and they were in a tower. And my friend Bob and I, God rest his soul, we got in there and we climbed right up to the top of the towers, right up to the top of the water cauldrons on a rickety old, uh, it wasn't even really a ladder. And when I think of it today, I'm frightened. And I think of what my parents would have thought had I gone and probably killed myself climbing that thing. But it was exciting to us back then. Really, really, really exciting. Except for it was some of the glass had broken, pigeons had gotten in there, so everywhere we put our hands was pigeon poop. And but you know, you're a young kid, you don't think it's as easy as you could get from that. And then another thing I did, I came from a place called Oneeville Square, the poor section of Providence, where four big roads converge, and there was a square there, and uh, one of the abandoned buildings, it used to be the Olympia Theater. Uh, there was nothing in the theater, but it was like a three-story building, and they put a big billboard on it. And my friend Bob and I, we were the two. We could find things to do. Let me put it that way. And we found a way to get into the building and through this door and get up on top of the roof and then get up on top of the billboard. And we would sit there for hours watching everything that was going on. You know, drunks fight. It was all exciting when you're a young kid, 9 or 10 years old. At my size now, at 6'3", I would never have been able to fit through that hole that I fit in when I was 9 years old. And we just were up there, kind of like Rose and Jack on the Titanic, where they're right at the front of the boat, king of the world, and that's how we felt. But it was very dangerous, and it was thrill-seeking. I can tell you, I had a friend, Steve. He was a swimmer too. Came by. He was on a motorcycle. He says, "Come on, Joey, get on the motorcycle. I'll give you a ride." I was a teenager, and I said, "You won't go fast or do anything crazy, will you?" Because I was kind of afraid. He said, "No, I won't do that." I wasn't on there 10 seconds, and he pulled a wheelie, and I grabbed onto him. I was scared for my life, and he took me on about a 10-mile ride, and I've never been on another motorcycle again. And that was thrill-seeking. But it wasn't to the exclusion of the Holy Spirit, so I'm not quite, I just don't understand that question. Maybe some of you can enlighten me, because I don't get all the questions. Sometimes I'm not on the same train of thought as the author of the book, and I really miss the point that he's trying to get. Sometimes that happens. We're not all the same, but uh, you always got to keep time for the Holy Spirit. So have a safe and holy day, and we will see you tomorrow.